Cuando yo era niño chiquito, when I was a little kid, Rey Mysterio, he inspired me to work hard, to travel the world.
When you think of characters and gimmicks that have been incredibly successful for WWE, you think of characters such as The Undertaker, Kane, Mankind, and the Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase. However, although the success of these characters can't be denied, it's not uncommon for WWE to try and replicate this success by giving a new superstar a similar character to attempt to match the success. This has had mixed results over the years. A number of superstars have excelled in portraying a similar character, however this usually involves that superstar giving their own unique spin on the legendary character. However, more often than not, WWE attempting to recapture the success with a character falls completely flat, meaning they'll usually pull the plug on them. But which wrestlers are they? Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 copy and paste superstars that have appeared in WWE. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists.
How does he do it? Look at this. This is one of the greatest tricks I've ever seen. Remember what Doink said about double vision?
Number 10, the world's greatest tag team, an American Alpha. In late 2002, WWE would debut the world's greatest tag team consisting of Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. The two would join forces with WWE champion Kurt Angle to form Team Angle, and the trio would pride themselves on being the best pro wrestlers in the company.
You both buddy!
Just kicking the dirt on him.
When Team Angle disbanded, Benjamin and Haas would continue a tag team, having tremendous matches with the likes of Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman, as well as Los Guerreros.
Look at this! Charlie Haas and the legal man! We've got new tag team champions!
The team would be successful, winning the WWE Tag Team titles on 2 different occasions. The duo were a perfect fit for the ruthless aggression period in WWE, but fast forward to 2015 and the WWE debuted American Alpha on NXT. American Alpha consisted of Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, and the duo would have a similar gimmick to that of Benjamin and Haas, in that they were simply amazing wrestlers who could out-wrestle anyone. The duo became instantly popular with NXT fans, and the two had some of the best tag matches in WWE history.
American Alpha has had an answer for absolutely everything.
When the duo moved to the main roster, the popularity continued for a while, and they would win the SmackDown Tag Team titles, but it wasn't too long before the WWE decided to split the pair, as they decided the tag team would be better as solo competitors, a decision that WWE fans still resent to this very day. Number 9, Waylon Mercy and Bray Wyatt. A lot of younger WWE fans may not know who Waylon Mercy is. However, Waylon was a character way before his time. Debuting in 1995, he would wear colourful shirts, talk in riddles, and the character would be similar to that of Max Cady from the movie Cape Fear. The gimmick just wasn't appropriate for this time period, but the WWE would try to reuse elements of the gimmick for Bray Wyatt in 2012 to much greater success. Bray would use a lot of Waylon's visions, including the colourful shirts, the promo style, and just being incredibly creepy and mysterious. Bray would go on to win the WWE title with the gimmick, as well as having notable feuds with the likes of The Undertaker, John Cena, and Daniel Bryan. Number 8, Gangrel and Kevin Thorne. In WWE, there have only been 2 superstars to date that have been given a vampire-esque character. Well, there is some shady in between with Edge and Christian, but the main one was Gangrel, who debuted in the Attitude Era and attained moderate success, and the other would be Kevin Thorne. Thorne would be a part of the revamped ECW show, and although Thorne had a cool look, the gimmick just didn't seem to work. According to Thorne himself, the original plan for his version of the vampire gimmick was for him to team with Gangrel. Talking to Fightful, Thorne would reveal, "Originally it was supposed to be me, Gangrel, and Shelley coming back into ECW. I still don't know why it wasn't. I think it could have been unreal. Gangrel is a good friend of mine and has always been a huge supporter. I remember when I was just starting and I tagged with him and Luna was our manager. I had chemistry with him then, and every time we get together, it's just fun. He's the OG of the vampire gimmick. Nobody's gonna do it better. I wasn't even trying to because I knew I couldn't compete with what Gangrel had. I was just lucky enough to be part of it and follow in his footsteps. It was definitely a missed opportunity for us not getting to team together." Number 7, Flash Funk and Brodus Clay. When the WWE decided to give Brodus Clay's Flash Funk's old gimmick of superstars who like to dance and have fun, WWE actually expected for Brodus to become a big star with the gimmick. In reality, the gimmick fell flat. Although WWE did everything they could to make it work, we would have a number of squash matches as well as an extended segment at WrestleMania 28, which the fans just didn't want to see. Number 6, the American Badass Taker and Chuck Palumbo. The American Badass version of The Undertaker was one of the best examples of character reinvention in WWE history. The Undertaker wanted to make a change to his established deadman character, and he wanted to introduce more of the human being into the Undertaker character. This involved him riding to the ring on a motorbike, wearing all leather and having a no-nonsense approach to anyone he encountered. In 2007, WWE attempted to recapture some of the magic of the American Badass character by repackaging Chuck Palumbo as a biker. Palumbo would come down to the ring on a motorbike with a heavy rock theme song, and it was far too obvious what WWE were trying to do. Interestingly, during this time period, Palumbo would be in an on-screen relationship with Michelle McCool, who would famously end up marrying The Undertaker just a number of years later. Number 5, King Booker and King Corbin. When the WWE decided to award Booker T with the King of the Ring in 2006, they could have never imagined the success that Booker would have with the King gimmick. Booker would transition into King Booker, and his entire persona would be based off a traditional King character. The issue was that in the years that followed, WWE tried to emulate this success with every single King of the Ring winner that came after 2006. Sheamus, Wade Barrett, and King Corbin are all examples of them trying to literally copy and paste the King gimmick onto another talent, but ultimately they fell completely flat. According to Booker T himself, he believes the WWE should completely retire the concept. He revealed,
"But I do think the King of the Ring tournament perhaps should be put in the archives." And it had a great run for so many years. It did a whole lot for a lot of guys. King Booker, it worked out for me because I was relentless in making it work out. It took a whole lot of creativity to be able to find that. And a lot of guys, not saying that there aren't great wrestlers or anything today, it's hard to find that kind of creativity. Just say, for instance, King Booker's interest was longer than a lot of guys' matches these days. I give myself a lot of credit for leaving that memory. When you think about the King of the Ring, you think about King Booker first. That's the memory that I want to leave, but it could have easily went the other way. And that's why I say I think the King of the Ring tournament is something that perhaps should be put in the archives and, saved for maybe a special occasion when maybe that special talent come along that we think maybe we should put in that role. That's just my thoughts.
Number 4, The Genius and Damien Sandow. The Genius was a character who debuted in the late 80s. He would dress in a robe, wear a mortarboard, and the whole point of his gimmick was that he was more intelligent than other superstars as well as the WWE fans. The gimmick never really took off, but WWE decided to reuse the elements for the gimmick for Damien Sandow in 2012. Sandow would also wear a robe to the ring and would have the nickname of the intellectual savior of the unwashed masses. Sandow had quite a decent run with the gimmick, and he would win the Money in the Bank in 2013 and was even rumored to win the title at one stage, but unfortunately this never happened. Number 3, Hulk Hogan and Lex Luger. When Hulk Hogan left the WWE in 1993, WWE were absent of a major top star at the top of the card. As a result, Vince McMahon had the idea to turn Lex Luger into an all-American hero. Vince's idea was for Luger to basically rip off Hulk Hogan's real American character, but sadly, Luger was no Hogan. Hogan had a ton of charisma and Luger wasn't at the same level. Although WWE gave Luger a number of opportunities to succeed and attain some popularity, he would never win the title, and WWE decided to explore other options as a replacement to Hogan. Number 2, Batista and Mason Ryan. In 2011, WWE would debut Mason Ryan to be part of CM Punk's new Nexus stable. However, when Ryan debuted, fans instantly assumed that this was Batista. He looked almost identical to the animal in every single way. This would ultimately hinder Ryan throughout his WWE career, as fans would often compare him to the former world champion. It didn't help that WWE attempted to use the same formula for the success of Batista to try and make Ryan a top star. Mason Ryan would work with top stars in high-profile matches with names such as John Cena, Kane, and The Big Show.
Ryan was trying to blindside. Didn't work out so well for Mason Ryan.
Mason Ryan would eventually be moved to NXT in 2012 in an attempt to try and improve his wrestling as well as his character, but sadly, he was doomed to fail from the very beginning. And number 1, Goldberg and Ryback. When the former Skip Sheffield was repackaged as Ryback in 2012, fans instantly noticed that he was being presented extremely similar to how Goldberg was presented in WCW. The obvious comparison between the two men was the bald head, but it was mainly how their matches were booked which drew comparisons from fans. Ryback would be unbeaten in 38 matches before losing to CM Punk at 2012's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. This made fans compare both of their unbeaten records, as it was virtually the same formula that was used with Goldberg all those years back.
Whiplash. Ryback has made an amazing.
Fans would often chant Goldberg during Ryback's matches, and in 2016 would actually change Ryback's attire to match Goldberg's. Ryback would go from wearing a colourful RVDS singlet to all black trunks, just like Goldberg did during his iconic WCW run. There was even a rumour around this time that WWE wanted to book a Goldberg vs Ryback match on a major pay-per-view, but this never would occur. But there you have it, folks. 10 copy and paste wrestlers in WWE. Who made the gimmick better and who made the gimmick worse? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.